Hello and welcome. Happy Thursday. I have to remind myself what day it is because, they just all start running together. But we are so excited that you are here. My name is Heather Miller, and I have my trusty sidekick, Jessica Winston, is along with me with her
Hi.
awesome background. I wish I could do backgrounds on my computer. Um, so, if you have been with us all week, this is part 4 of a 5-part course that we've been going through. And I see lots of familiar, I would say faces, but really familiar names. um, we started with Pear Deck this week, and we're coming right into memory books. But really, the overall theme here is all in for student engagement. So, really, how are we getting those students engaged? And one thing that Jessica and I talked about was it's at the end of the year, and we both have elementary school age kiddos at home, and they're getting to the point where they're just done. So how do we keep them engaged? And we thought memory books would be such a fun way to kind of recap the year, and just see, what they liked. And we have a couple of different ways to do that, whether you want to do individual memory books or you want to combine it and create a class memory book for them to use. So we're going to walk through a couple of different ways to do that, along with how do you share it into Google Classroom and into Seesaw? How do you make all of that work? So again, we're so excited that you are here. If you were not able to attend the webinars from Tuesday and Wednesday, like I mentioned, we will put those recordings on our Genially. We just keep referring back to that Genially. And that's the link that Jessica sent you all from Eduphoria earlier. And Monday, we started a Pear Deck, as I mentioned, and it is a student pace. And I am actually just going to close it out tomorrow morning. So if you have not checked that out, it is still open and available. I will be ending it tomorrow at 8 in the morning. So whoever has turned in that student pace will have the credit for that class. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So on here, we have kind of a little mind map of sorts, because we understand this is a lot of words, but we want you to be able to refer back to this later just with a couple of different steps. So we're not going to be focused on this little mind map chart here, but it just kind of shows what we're going to go over. So we're going to show how to create those individual memory books and share them into Google Classroom, as well as into Seesaw, and then creating those class books where each student creates a part and you combine them all together. And how do you share that into your Google Classroom and Seesaw? How do you make all of that work? So we are going to make the magic happen, show you how it all goes down. All right, so I'm going to have Jessica stop sharing her screen. We're going to pass the mic, and I'm going to share mine here. And as I mentioned before, we do have this Genially that we keep sharing. As I talked about, the Pear Deck is still active, and we are on the memory books, and we are putting little stars on here for any extra information. So there'll be a star here with that little mind map that we showed you once this is all over, so you can see that. All right, so how do we get the individual memory book? So what I did is I went to Teachers Pay Teachers. There's also some just on individual websites and all that you can download as well. But this one is a free one that was on Teachers Pay Teachers. This is one I actually found on a website. And I know that this is kindergarten, but I just found one. You can really find whichever one you like. But this is just them drawing themselves in school, a cute little memory, however you want to do it. So whichever one you find, most of the time they are in PDF format because most of the time you are in school physically and you can print them out and staple them and give them to your students. But we're treading different waters here. And so how do we put that into our virtual classroom? So the first thing I want to show is if you have a Seesaw class, I would highly recommend adding this as an activity. So you're going to choose the plus sign and choose assign activity. And I'm just going to create a new one, and I'm going to title it Memory Books. So Memory Books, or however you want to do it. One thing we like to do is add emojis before, and that's the Windows icon and the semicolon at the same time brings up an emoji keyboard, and then you can just put whichever icon that you would like on there. And sometimes they show up kind of wonky, not really technical term, but they show up in an interesting fashion on the computer, but if a student was on a tablet, it'll have more of a different visual for them. Still a pencil though. So I'm just going to leave the books there. And when I create a Seesaw activity, I always skip over the instructions first. That's kind of, I like to begin with the end in mind. Some of you have heard that phrase before. And so what is my end goal? I want them to reflect on their year in my grade. So I'm pretending I'm in my kindergarten grade. So I'm going to choose add multimedia instructions or example. So what I want to do is use my PDF that I found, I downloaded, and like I said, there's some that are in the TPT. This one is just like a regular grade level one. It really doesn't matter which one you download. We will be linking both of these onto that page so that you guys can refer back to them. But for right now, we have two different examples. And just because I have the kindergarten one pulled up, that's what I'm going to show. So I am choosing the arrow down over here in the upper right corner. And it's going to download down here in the bottom of it. That bar shows up whenever you download something, and you don't even need to click on that. I can just go back to my Seesaw window, and now I'm going to upload it. So first you download it, now we upload it. So when I choose upload, I can just drag that file and drop it in. And as you saw on the first page of that PDF, it's a whole thing of who the product was created by and what graphics they used and all that. And I don't need my students to see that. So once it loads up into this page, then I can just click on the page on the right that I want to get rid of and delete it. And then I can scroll all the way down, and there's a little autograph page here. And so I can delete that one as well. Now, there is a way if you want to do the autograph page, and I will show you how to do that if y'all are interested. But for now, I'm just going to pretend we're doing individual books. Okay, so I'm going to click the three dots and say delete. So now they have their little page here. This is me in school. These are my memories, draw and write about, favorite memory, all that good stuff. Now, I've mentioned this before when I've loaded in PDFs, is that sometimes when students are on an iPad or a tablet, it makes that screen really small, and students have a hard time. Oh my goodness. I think I told you guys the wrong place to put this. Beep, beep. We're gonna back it up, friends. we're gonna back it up. I just I would really say a brain fart, but I'm just gonna say brain bubble, as I would tell my kinder kids. Okay, we're gonna just, you know what? It's okay. We're gonna title it all the same. You guys have had those moments, right? Right. Okay. Not multimedia example, because they cannot do anything in multimedia example. Some of you guys who have used Seesaw are like, Heather, I don't know what you're talking about, because they won't be able to do anything. So there you go. Not multimedia example. You want to add it as a template so that they can write on it. So I'm sorry if you just took notes and that's what you wrote down. Hopefully you have an eraser. So add a template for student example, same way. We're going to upload it, drag it up, put it in there. We're going to delete that first page and that last page. Same way we did it before. We just need to make sure that it's in the template. Okay. And Jessica's so nice over there. She didn't even tell me.
You know, we have those moments. It's okay.
Okay, so what I was saying before is if you have a PDF, sometimes it shrinks down a lot. So in this is fine. They're just drawing a picture of themselves, or they can take a picture that they have of themselves in school and load it in there. That's not a problem. What I see as a problem is this right here, the text at the bottom. So here's what I would recommend. I'm going to go to my PDF. I'm going to scroll down to where they have this little memories thing right here. And I'm going to use a Seesaw Chrome extension. And it's up here in the extension bar. And it looks like a little seesaw symbol, but as a circle. So I'm going to choose that. And I'm going to say capture selected area. And then I can draw my square around this part right here as much as I need. And since I already have my template open, it's going to just pop up already in there. Now, what you'll notice is that it puts this PDF behind here. It just put it right on top. So really, I kept this here because I wanted to show you the difference. So here's this PDF, which it's small. It's going to be hard for them to zoom in and write on. But this one I took a snip so I can make it really big and they have room to draw their memory. And then I can just have a text box over on the side, or I can use the 3 dots and choose a background and just add the background of the lines there. So those lines look very tiny. So you can use larger lines if you would like. But you can use those lines or not, it doesn't matter. But you can just say, you know, write about your favorite memory, and then they can use the text box, and then you can say, write about your favorite memory. And then they have more room to write and draw, because I know that's something that has been really hard for students when they have a PDF. They have to zoom in and they have to make room for all of that there. There are shapes that you can also add lines if you feel the need to put lines in for your kiddos. You can put the lines in there for them. So I can do that. Make lots of them, drag them down. And I just did Control D to duplicate those really quickly. And then ta-da! So check out the difference between that image and then like one of these. So it's just a big difference on them being able to draw and write on there. So if you are loading a PDF like one of these, I would highly recommend just snipping a bit and putting it in there. Even if you snip the top part of the PDF and then snip the bottom and put them side by side, it's just going to look a lot better landscape than portrait. Okay. So once you have that template in there and it looks beautiful, then you're going to click on the check mark and you will add your instructions. So you can just say, you know, for time's sake, I'm just going to say complete the memory book when it uploads. So as it's uploading, before I move on to Google Classroom, I just want to see if there's anybody that has a question about how to put that into Seesaw. Still uploading. Great. It's like, Heather, you did so many things. Okay, so what did somebody have? Was that you, Jess? I was about to ask.
It says, do the original stay there?
Do the original stay there?
I'm assuming those extra pages that you put in from the original PDF, do they stay in place, or can you take what you don't need out?
Oh, yes. You can definitely take out any
I'm sorry, I was talking about you know, you had the original picture and then you went up there and I saw both of them side by side, you know, the big clip and then the clip. Did you have to delete that other clip?
Yes, I had to delete it because I didn't want it. So I just clicked the 3 dots and deleted it. Yep. Okay. I just kept it there to show you guys the difference. Yep. So I'm going to type the instructions here, complete the memory book. And what I would suggest is do add multimedia instructions, click video and record yourself. Just saying, hey guys, you know, this was a crazy year, but I'm glad you're my students, blah, blah, you know, all those nice things, so that they can see your face, or maybe even use the multimedia example to create one from your perspective. What was your favorite memory with your class? So that they can see one created and use that as inspiration when they create their own. So as you know, sometimes it's really good for them to have examples. So I'm just going to choose save. And then when I'm ready, then I can assign it to my class and then they can complete that template on their own. So yay, great. So that's how you put it into Seesaw. So this is how I would upload it into Google Classroom. So I'm going to go to the classwork tab in Google Classroom and I'm going to create a new assignment. And what I would highly recommend is creating a Google Slides template and using those PDF pages as images and putting them in the background of your Google Slides. I know that's a lot of words and you're probably like, what are you talking about? Well, good thing I'm about to show you. The reason why I recommend putting images as a background before you put them into Google Classroom is because it's hard. The students can't move that image around. If you just put it on there, they're going to be able to resize it, delete it on accident, all those things. So I'm going to change the page setup to a custom 8.5 by 11, just as if it's a piece of paper. There we go. And I want to load those memory pages up as images so that they can use the text. So what I'm going to do is I am going to choose background. So let me do that. I did that really fast. I'm sorry. Right here is background. That's what I'm picking. So I'm choosing background and selecting choose image. And I have an image on my desktop. So I saved those PDFs as images. And so I want to import those images. So here I go. It's working. It's working. Ta-da! So now you can see I cannot click on it. It is plastered in the back like wallpaper. I'm not able to take it off. So what I would do is just add a text box right here. And you can even change the font for them and all that if you want. But you're just going to put a little question mark so that they know that that is where they need to type. And you can make it real big. You can even center it and all that for them so they don't have to do all that on their own. So that way when they go in and type, that will be ready for them to do. They just will have the question mark there and that's all they have available to them. So then I'm going to make a new page here. And I'm going to choose the background again, choose image and find my next page. The easiest way to save these images as, the PDFs as an image is use Snip and Sketch and just drag and snip that picture of the PDF and save it as a picture, as an image on your computer. So I'm going to choose done. So now you can see I have my text boxes that were already there. And then I have other places for them to type. So again, I'm just making this smaller so that I can add a question mark here.
Heather?
Jessica?
Can you show one more time how you got that text box?
Yes, I can.
And also how to resize the paper to an 8 by 11 or the slide.
Yes. So if you want to add a text box, so like right here, it has name. Up here is a little box with a T in it. So anytime you want to add a text box, you just click on that and it will add a text box into there. Now for this one, it's asking them to add a picture of them in the school. So in their Google Slides, they can go to insert image and add it from their own device. So, or they can just create a drawing too. If you do insert, there, insert. They also have, goodness gracious. They also have shapes and stuff like that where they can kind of doodle on their own as well. Okay, so Jessica said, how do you resize the page? I'll show you that one more time. So I'm doing file. I come all the way down to the bottom to page setup. And then I pick custom and I change it to 8.5 by 11. So it's a sheet of paper. And then I'm there. And then you're just going to continue on and just add those pages as you would. So background, find your images that you have on your computer that you've most likely saved with Snip and Sketch. Here we go. Okay, and again, these already had, I already had text boxes on these pages, but if you didn't, you can just add any text box that you would like and just drag it to that spot and go ahead and resize it for them and just add a question mark so that they know that that is a place where they need to add something in there. So now what I want to do is I want to, you can add as many pages as you want, but I want to go ahead and title this Google slide, Memory Books, Memory Book 2020. And then I'm going to go back to my Google Classroom. Memory book, title it, make the instructions, complete your 2020 memory book. And then I'm going to choose add from my Google Drive. So I'm adding from my Google Drive, and because I just had that Google slide open, it will come up as recent. So I'm going to choose recent in my memory book right there and choose add. Now, before you click assign, before, this is an announcement. Make sure that you change this share option to make a copy for each student, because if you do the first one, students can view the file. That's what they're going to be able to do. They're just going to be able to look at it. So maybe if you've created your own and you just want them to look at your own, then you can add yours separately and say students can view this one. Students can edit means every student in your class is going to be on the same memory book, which can be very confusing because they'll all type over each other. So we want to make sure we make a copy for every student. So it's just like a virtual copy machine when you click this one. And then you can change topics and all that if you would like, schedule it from here. But any of those, save it as a draft schedule, but I'm going to go ahead and assign it so you can see what it looks like. So once you assign it, it's going to make a copy for all of the students. And then once the students go into their copy, so I'll see here, it's going to make everybody a copy, and it's going to say now Memory Book 2020 dash and that student's name, instead of it's making them all right now. Let's see. So now when I go in there, I'll be able to see all of their work that's been copied and I can go and view what they're doing, which is really nifty. So I think I'm moving too fast for this because it's not showing me hers yet, but I will pause right there while that's still working and see if there are any questions. Jess, did you see any?
No, you went over the resizing and you did the text box, so that's where we are. We're up to date.
We're up to date. So here is the students, and then I can view hers. And so as you can see, her assignment over here has her name and then memory book. So in her Google Drive, it will say her name dash memory book 2020, so that she can see that. And then all of these text boxes that show up are the ones that she will be able to put in there. And then she can even click on the image icon and upload a picture of herself or a picture that she has on a camera roll. And I can see all those pages that she's created. All right, awesome. So that is how you would have your students complete those individual memory books. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Jessica, and she's going to show you how to do it if you want to create a combined memory book for your class.
All right.
Sharing.
So this reminds me of when I first started teaching, and I made a gigantic slide for my class. And I remember burning CDs for my kids and making a slideshow for each one of them. Thankfully, we don't have to do that now. So here's the first option. I'm going to show you Google Slides, and then I'll also show you Genially. Right now, that's Genially, but I'm going to go through and get to Google Slides. So the first thing is, don't feel like you have to start from scratch. I look for templates either in Slides Go, Slides Carnival, or Slides Mania that have open spaces like this that would allow me to put in pictures from that I have taken of my students or that students have sent to me. So the first step is to find a template that works with what you are looking for. I'm going to go ahead and add that as a Google Slide theme. It will make you make a copy, and this particular platform, others will let you use it as a template. So this is the one I chose. And if you notice on the template, you have 42 pages. All I did was take all the pages that I did not need, which is the ones that don't have this little border around it. So that's why I have 3 slides instead of 42. So on the main slide, I have this picture that's in the background like Heather showed you. So I can't move this picture around, but I can replace it by using the same steps she showed you, by taking the background, choose your image, and then pull something from your desktop. So I have, here's a picture of a class. Not my class, just went out in Pixabay, found one that I can use. Here you go, there's done. And then you can move, make your title slide. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that process on each slide. Go out, find something that you have. And then obviously you can change the text that you need. You are missed. I remember I had a picture of my kids that one time where it snowed and we all were just enthused. So that would be a good memory to put in my book. I'm going to do 2 more. Pictures worth fun. Okay, just going in and changing the text that's already there, and then your last picture could be a picture of you. So I'm going to say that this is ready to go. You want to rename Winston Wiz Kids. All right, so I am ready to make this memory book a little more snazzy. So you can add music behind it. I'm not sure if you have seen, or maybe in some of your Zoom meetings, or not meetings, but your announcements, that some of your librarians can make this play as a slideshow. You can do that, or you can choose to have it just a static ebook for your kiddos. So the first step, I'm just going to make this a book, is to change your permissions. Right now, when you first create something, it's going to be private to you. So I'm going to go over to this yellow button and change it. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, Heather, but this is different. This has changed with the way you go and share things. I didn't notice this before until like right now. And so I was over here scrambling, well, how do I make it anyone with the link can view? So right here, you can share it directly with maybe your teammate and be done with it. But right here, you're going to go down to change, and make it anyone with a link. Originally, when I tried to share it, it was set to just people within Northeast. That's like the default. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to anyone with the link can view, and then done. And then there's one add-on that I thought was pretty neat. I'm going to share it with you. It's called Sir Links-a-Lot. Now that I've changed my permissions, I'm going to click on this, and this can be found on the web. It's called Sir Links-a-Lot, and it does the work for you. So if you're seeing, this is my current Google Slides view. If I sent this to my students right then, they would get exactly what you're seeing, and they could edit all of this. I don't want to do that. And I don't necessarily want to force them to make a copy right here in this platform, because I'm going to show it to you in Seesaw, but I do want to change it to preview. So I'm going to tap this blue button, and it changes your web address automatically. So now you can copy it to your clipboard and get it ready to go into Google Classroom, or you can even make it a link shortener. It will give you a bit.ly link for it, or you can open it in another tab. So I'm going to open it in another tab right now, just so you can see what your students will see. Clicking that, and here's their book. Now, if you wanted to autoplay, that's another option that we can talk about, but here is your book. Kids can't go in and click on everything, but it's ready there for them, and there's no extra slides or things to be distracted, and that is in your preview view. So again, that add-on, or that extension, sorry, is called Sir Links-a-Lot. The only thing that you have to do before you use Sir Links-a-Lot is change your permissions. If you don't feel like fussing with that, then you would have to highlight that word edit within your Google slide and change it to preview or present. Either way would work. I just thought the Sir Links-a-Lot deal would save me some time because it's already got a little shortener in there. So now I am ready to share this. I've already got my permissions checked. I'm going to go ahead and copy my link to the clipboard. I'm going to go straight into Google Classroom. Since this is a book that all of your students are going to have and to hold, you're going to want it to make their own copy. So I'm going to go ahead. You could just easily, I guess, add it to the screen just so they could look at it. But I'm going to go ahead and create an assignment. Yeah. And then memory book. And then from here, I'm going to go to add, go to my drive, or actually I can just go to my link. Ooh, let's see if this will work. Ooh. Okay, and so there's my link. I'm going to go over here. Students can view the file, make a copy for each student. This is going to allow them to keep their own book, depending on what you'd like. And then you're going to go ahead and assign it like you would normally to all students. And then as that is working, again, that add-on is called Sir Links-a-Lot. And so our memory book is here. If you open it up, the kids will go directly to that link, right? So from here, if you wanted to share that, let me get this. I'm going to copy this one, and I will show you how to bring it into Seesaw. So it could, I'm pretty much going to make this an announcement, and I'll have it go to the students and to the parents, just so they both are aware of what they're seeing. Our memories, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, y'all, I sing sometimes. Okay, so then you're going to go to add attachment, add a link, and then paste in your slide. So it says preview already, and we're there. I'm going to go ahead and click on the green check mark. Disregard this. I'm going to go ahead and continue. Just because it's reading, it's a Google file. You do not have to put it in that way. And then you've got your preview of your book. If you want, you can record a sweet message before you send them the book. and then go from there. So now in your announcements, there is your class memory book. All right, now, if you would like to see how to turn this into a like a self-forwarding slideshow video within Google Classroom, I can show you that, but if not, we can go on to Genially.
I think you're good.
All right, let's do that. Okay, so within Genially, again, the whole thing is don't start from scratch, please. Go to the templates, they have plenty. In the video, in the video presentation portion of the Genially templates. So here we're going to go to create, and it's down here. So the one that I choose is the Genially Video Presentation Pro. That's the template that I use. These are all of the ones that are available. They already have the animations, and you can kind of export it that way. It's already built in there for you. So I'm going to go here, and you can, again, this is Winston Whiz Kids, and we'll take that down to 50. Ooh, not 56, 56. Okay. Change your font up here. And you would change your text and things as you need. And then I have the same options just to replace this picture with something that you have already on your computer. So I'm going to, you can either drag it or you can pull it directly from your desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one in. And you can pull in multiple pictures at the same time. So if you have a folder just has all of your kids' pictures in, then you can like highlight all of them and it'll pull them all in at the same time. The only stipulation is it cannot be bigger than 5 megabytes. So I'm going to replace that one. And you can crop it larger or smaller than you need. So it sees that the picture is pretty large, and so I don't want to cut anything off on this case. Click the pink check mark, and then it's going to resize it. And then you can add your text off to the side. We sure did have lots of fun. Okay. Then from there, same process. Now I have 2 pages here, and I mean, you have more pictures, I'm sure, than just 2 pages. I'm gonna show you how I added that. I went up to the plus sign that says add page, and then it brings in all of the pages just like you saw in Slides Carnival, and I selected the ones that I thought would work best. You can choose to have them all open at once and then delete what you don't want, or you can start at the very beginning and say, you know what, I don't want this one. I feel like I'm going to use this one most often and these 2. And then maybe that thank you page at the end. And then you have your extra pages in between to go. And so you add just replace your pictures. That little leg is tripping me out, y'all. Replace your images with anything on your computer, or stock photos if you wanted to kind of add some filler pictures in between. So how do I share this? Oh, you also, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share this. I'll preview it first by tapping on the eyeball. If you've never used Genially before, it is web-based, and you can preview your work before you go on. And this is what your students would see. So you see all of the animations are a part of this. And if you look, there's a little pink bar that's sliding on the bottom of my page. This advances on its own. There's nothing that you have to do additionally like you would with the Google slide. Your kids can also toggle through each page if they would like. So I'm just tapping on that forward arrow. I can also tap on that backward arrow and see my previous slide. Your kids can also, there's a little icon in the very bottom that will allow them to see all of the slides if you would like. They have that option. So I'm done editing this for the time being, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell it all set. And then I met with 231, haha. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it public online. You can rename it Winston Whiz Kids 2019, 2020. And you can add a description if you like, that's optional. And then say all set. So now from here, I can share my book directly into Google Classroom by going to Other and then tapping Google Classroom. Load which class you want to use. And same process that I showed before. You could make it an announcement if you wanted to just make a little video kind of saying, you know, talking to your students, or if you wanted, again, to make their actual memory book right here. I created an assignment and the same process. Winston book. Okay. Add your directions and then assign. Now from there, you can go back into your Google Classroom and kind of change it so that each kid would get their individual copy. I didn't see my option to do that just yet, but I will go back and look because you can always edit.
They don't have their own individual copy with a link, just the Google slide.
Yeah. Okay. So with this one, it would just, let me go in and look at the assignment directly. Here we are. Okay. So yeah, here we go. That's set. And that's how you get it into your Google Classroom, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the link. Let me go back here. I'm grabbing my link that is in Genially, copy it, and then add it the same way I did before into my my Seesaw announcements page. So the green add button, send announcement, send it to your families. There. Watch this. Go down to the link, paste, green check mark, and then there's my slide, or my presentation, my video, and then send now. And so you have two ways to get it to your family if you're just going to make a big class book. Yeah.
So if you will pass the mic back to me, we'll show you one other way before we end our session today. So you've looked at how to add a class book if the students are creating it individually, and Jessica just showed you how to kind of make your own video if you have multiple pictures or memories of what your class has done throughout the year. And so what do you do if you have a memory page from each student and you want to combine them? So I went ahead and added a little fake activity here. So I took the template that we had before, but all I did was add one page onto this template. So each student is just completing one page. With activities in Seesaw, if you add it to a folder, you can actually print that entire folder as a PDF, and it provides you with a QR code. So I'm going to click this icon over here. That's the folder icon. And I'm choosing memory book. So I already put in two sample responses here. And so I have Ariel's response and I have Alice's response. They're working on their writing skills. Don't judge. So what I can do easily is I can just click print PDF, and all of the pictures will be combined into one PDF, and it will give a QR code. So if the students did record, then the other students would be able to hear them, and everything is combined as one. So here is the class that I'm in. Here's the title of the activity was the title of the folder was memory book, and this is when I printed it. And so it shows the student's name, shows what they did, their memory page, And then if they recorded, any of the students can scan that QR code and hear what the students are saying. And so that right there, you can upload that right into an announcement for your students and families when you're all finished by just clicking the download button like we did before with the PDF, and it will save it. So I'm just going to save memory book right here. I have another screen popped up wanting me to type in the name of it. So there it goes, pops up at the bottom. So now in Seesaw, just like Jessica was showing you, I can go to the green plus sign, choose send an announcement, and add my attachment by just, again, uploading that PDF file. So here it comes. It's put right into the template. I don't need to do anything to it. And I click on the check mark. And it will add that attachment to my announcement. Now, if I wanted to download each of those individually and put them into, let's say, a Genially or something where it creates a nice little video, you can also download each of those posts as a picture. And once it uploads, I'll show you here in a second. But on each post in Seesaw, there are 3 dots. You click the 3 dots, you click save, and it saves that file to your computer. And then you can use those images, and just like Jessica showed you, pull up Genially, pull up Google Slides, and put those images into one of those things and make a compiled little video presentation for your class. And obviously it thinks this is a really huge file. Goodness gracious. So while that's thinking, I'm going to show you with the memory book for Google Slides. So we're going to pretend that this memory book that I created here is just a 1-pager. Okay. So when you have, when you open up your Google Drive, you have a folder called Classroom. So when you create a Google Classroom, or if you're involved in a Google Classroom as a student, you have a folder that's called Classroom. It's not one you created, it's created by Google when you get a Google Classroom. So all the Google Classrooms that you've ever been in will be in there, okay? And as a teacher, you have access to all of the files that the students have shared with you. And as you can see, I have a lot in here. And so I shared it, making sure I'm going to the right class, into Miss Miller's class. So that's where I'm going to go. Oh, so many Miss Miller's classes. Which one is it? The easiest way, I think, is to just go to the folder. Let me show you how to do that. So when you are viewing all of your classes, there's actually a little folder icon that shows up, see right there, and you can just go right to your folder instead of digging through your Google Drive like I was just doing. And so once you go to that folder, it'll show you all the activities. So here's my memory book or assignment, excuse me, for Google Classroom. And here's the memory book for that child. And so if you had lots of children, you would see all of their posts. So we're just going to pretend that hers was 1 page, okay? And I want to copy her 1 page and put it all together. Or maybe hers is 4 pages, but I just want to use that 1 page. So I'm going to choose the 1 page that I want to share with everybody, and that is the favorite book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new Google Slides presentation. Okay, so once I open up a new Google Slides, or you can even just make a copy of the memory book that you already have, either way, I'm going to change my page setup. All of this is similar to what we did before. We created new Google Slides. We changed the pages to 8.5 by 11. Well, that's the same. But now I want to copy those pages. So I have my folder pulled up with all of those pages, and I'm just going to copy this page right here. So you can use Control C, or you can right click and choose copy, either way. But once you copy it, it goes into this invisible clipboard on your computer, and then you just click on a page, or you can click where there's the yellow line, and you right click or use Control V and paste it in. And voila, there's the paste. It's going to ask if you want to link to the original presentation. Just say don't link, because we don't need to link them back to their other thing. But this could have their name, their favorite memory, whatever it might be, and you can link them all together and create a Google Slides memory book. And like Jessica showed you how to easily share those Google Slides back into Google Classroom. So then they have a combined memory book for everybody. So going back to Seesaw, there it is. It attached as an announcement. So I'm just going to share here. And then you can send it. So in Seesaw, you can click the folder and just print that entire PDF and upload it and share it right away as a PDF. Or, like I mentioned, you can choose the 3 dots and save that post as a picture. And I'm just going to show you how to do that. So here are the 3 dots down here at the bottom. And then I just click up here where it says save, and then it will save that image on my computer. And I would recommend putting a folder on your desktop or in your pictures or somewhere, so all of those images will go in one place. So when you follow what Jessica did with Google Slides or Genially, you will have those images to upload and they'll be ready to go. And really doesn't matter how many pages the post is, it'll save them all, which is really cool. Okay, so you can save it all as a PDF, put it in as an announcement, or you can save them as images and put them into Google Slides or Genially. And for Google Classroom, you can copy and paste that Google slide into a whole Google slide here. Or you can also save it as an image as well. So how do you do that? There's no 3 dots like Seesaw. You have to do File and then just download and as a JPEG. So you just pick which page you want to combine with everybody and just download it as a JPEG. Now that's helpful if you're doing something like Jessica was showing you, combining it into a nice little movie for them and you want to upload those images. If you're just using the same Google Slides, I would just copy and paste that slide over. But if you're downloading it, just File, Download, and then JPEG. And it downloads that image to your computer. And like I mentioned with Seesaw, have a folder where they're all in there. So when you start going to Genially or another movie maker and you want to upload those images, you'll know where they are. So we have about 6 minutes or so until the end of our webinar, because I kind of talked fast at the end, but I want to make sure that we have time for questions. Just to repeat, we are recording all of this so you can rewatch all of this later. We are going to link it on the Genially. We are also going to link the page we showed at the very beginning with some links to like what Jessica just sent in the chat, the Chrome extension, the templates, and all of those things that we've been showing you. We're going to link them all on one page and put it on that Genially so that you guys can have access to that later. So I will stop talking here for a second just to see if there are any questions or if Jessica saw something in the chat.
Nope, there's nothing there in the chat right now.
Okay, while you guys are thinking of questions to type or to ask out loud, we will be giving, we'll be sending an email. I mentioned yesterday in our webinar, we'd be sending it today, but like I mentioned before, it was kind of a little bit crazier day than expected. A meeting that was supposed to last an hour went about an hour and a half. And anyway, so it's a little bit crazy, but I promise we are marking down who is coming to these webinars, who's attending, who's doing the work for that. If you've done that, we are sending out something to you, hopefully today, if not tomorrow morning, that shows you everything that you've completed. Yes. Go ahead.
There is a question. How do you add a YouTube video to a Genially?
Oh, do you want to stop so you can show that? Sure. I mean, me to stop, sure. Okay. Okay, while Jessica is sharing, if this is the first webinar that you have attended with us this week, we said this is a 5-part course because the 5th part is for you to complete something on your own. So whether you are attending this webinar or you go back and do the Pear Deck, we want you to try to create one of these on your own for your class and share it with us. So on that link that shows what webinars and different parts of this course you've attended, we will also link the spot to share your creations. So no need to email me and Jessica with your creations, although we love it. We've just, we want to make sure we have all of them in the right spot and we give you guys credit. So we are going to email this, the link to how to upload them and all that good stuff. So everybody is in the same spot. We can make sure that you get credit for what you create and the time that you took to do that. So I'm pass the mic to Jessica.
Okay, so here's YouTube video. And if it's just a regular video, it's going to, you need to copy your link and then go, just select any, I guess, pane in Genially, hit the hand, and then type in the link. Now, if you wanted to go out, just when they click on it, you're going to go to the web page, you can do that. But if you want to embed the video here, and I get this one, I replace it by adding, I think it's the insert. You're going to go to insert and then video and then paste your YouTube link here. And then from there, it will bring in that YouTube video. I'm going to delete this one. And then you can have that behind your box or in front of your box. You just got to do some finagling there. Now, if you are wanting to add music to this entire slide, there is a way to do that, like you heard, but it is the paid feature. Adding a song into this right here. Am I in here? Yeah, you can add a recorded option, or you can try and, I guess, go through Spotify or SoundCloud. And I'm not sure if that is paid or not. So that was a good question. So let me narrow down what it is I'm looking for. Let's see. So the question was,
can you add a YouTube video to a Genially? Yes, and then try to add music to a Genially from YouTube, but it wouldn't work.
Right. Okay, so embedding the music within the Genially is a paid feature. I haven't played around enough with embedding it from other audio sources, but they're here. And so you could pull something from Spotify. Let's go around and let's check it out. Or SoundCloud. You would need the link to that particular song. So here's YouTube Music. Okay. I'm gonna go over here. Glad you asked this question. I'm gonna try and move as quickly as possible. I'll just pick this one, download it, and I went to the YouTube audio library.
But I don't think there's a way to get the link to that music right, Jess. I think because I have the free version, Jessica has the paid version, and I know when I've tried to add audio on there, I was very sad because I wasn't able to add audio unless I paid for it. So I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with that. So I'll find out for you if there's a way to get the music in another way besides just the regular old add it right here with the music and that paid version. So I'll get back to you and let you know.
We can add it to that link that we're going to send you guys out to.
Okay, so it says you have to use the HTTP link, and when I copy the link, okay, so yeah.
So side note, just because it's 4:00 and I don't want to keep some people around if they need to leave. So if you are trying to do the other part of this course, and which is creating something on your own, there is a Pear Deck that we have a Padlet for, that all the Pear Decks are going to, but all these other ones, if you create a Gimkit or Quizlet from our other webinar, or the choice board from yesterday's, or you create a memory book to share. Now this is not, hey, I downloaded a memory book and this is the link. It's actually, creating your own. Even you can use a template from SlidesGo or SlidesMania, but we can see that you've taken the time to create something and make it specifically for your class. So we are sending out a link to that. But if you've already done a Pear Deck and you created one on your own, you're ready to go. You have that extra hour of teacher choice credit. So you're good. So it's just, there you go. I just wanted to answer that question that came up for you.
Sounds good. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all for showing up. It's good to see some of you guys. I think we've seen y'all every day this week, so it's awesome.
Every day.
We love it.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. It's very helpful.
Thank you.
Good. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Good.
We have a following now.
Yeah.
Yes, you
But
do.
you can't recognize any of us because when school's back, we'll actually
Yeah.
have makeup on.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We won't look the same.
I was looking at my hair going, oh my God, did I brush it today?
I didn't.
No need for makeup, none of that. It's fine.
I know. I feel strange putting it on now. I was gonna ask if we did our make and take on Monday, you have those, or how do we know? I mean, I know y'all sent me a
Yes, so
email saying share.
them to the Padlets,
Mhm.
and we were checking those, but some people had emailed them to us. So that's what I was saying. We
Okay.
like the email to us, but we're trying to compile all of them in one spot. So if you saved it to the Padlet, that is the perfect place for it to be.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I think one of y'all sent me it might have been Jessica, asking me to share. I just hadn't shared it or something.
Oh, okay.
Like
I
that.
think you had shared it with me, but
Oh,
not with
okay.
her.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay,
I'm
I just-
about that. I think we got that one. So
Okay, not a problem. Thank you, though. I've loved this week. This has been
good.
amazing.
Yay!
Really
We
helpful.
want to change things up.
Well, it's been fun. I actually can't wait to use them. But thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, no problem. We'll
All
have a
right,
happy
y'all-
Friday tomorrow, end of the week.
Yes, ready for the happy Mother's Day to anybody who's a mom.
Yay.
Yes, thank you.
All
I
right.
know it's going to be a different Mother's Day
Uh,
for sure.
yes, it is. No family, just us.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy our kids. All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Besides that, your body disappeared.